Hi, everybody. I wanted to apologize for James, the reclusive author of The Order of Odd Fish and Dare to Know was unable to make it here today, but we're very lucky, actually, because the person we have here, might be the wrong word, is the actual star of James's new book, Bride of the Tornado. I think you might actually recognize him. He's done a lot of other work. He's probably best known for his appearance in the film Twister with Bill Pullman. Is that Bill Pullman or Bob Paxton? Bill Paxton, excuse me, and Helen Hunt. I have for you here today, Tornado Jeff. Let's hear it for him. Tornado Jeff, why don't you jump on this mic here? How are you? How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. James extends his thanks. It's really great to see you here today. I guess the first question I had for you, Tornado Jeff, is that, I didn't realize that tornadoes had names. I mean, I knew that hurricanes had names, and I think that's a common knowledge, but do all tornadoes have names?
You're really going to start with that? You're really going to go there? Okay, all right, yeah, fine. Okay, why do hurricanes have names and tornadoes don't? I mean, it's, I'll tell you why. It's coastal elitism, all right? I mean, I guess, tornadoes are just flyover weather to you people. But, it's fine, I'm just a punch-the-clock, working class, Midwestern, real American tornado, so.
Well, it's great. That's great. It's a very good point. It's a good point you make there. But at any rate, you are the star, as I mentioned, of James Kennedy's new horror thriller, Bride of the Tornado. Can you tell us a bit about the book?
Yeah, it's a paycheck. Be honest, times have been a little bit rough since Twister. I mean, that's all the way back in '96. Eventually, people stop returning your calls. You can only throw that cow around so many times. And, but how often do you do that before people understand your shtick? And eventually the only gigs I could get were, birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. I'm sitting there turning around in the corner and, the kids are out on the dance floor twerking to Cardi B. And, put pin the tail on the donkey. It's bullcrap, all right? I'm an artist. It's bullcrap.
Strong words. Strong words from a strong storm. So, at any rate, what I was hoping to get at there, Tornado Jeff, was could you tell me a little bit about the plot or the story in James Kennedy's new book, Bride of the Tornado?
Me making rent, right? All right, okay, you're doing your job, I'll do mine. All right, so Bride of the Tornado is about this small town that's constantly threatened by monstrous, sentient tornadoes. There's this kid who lives outside of town called the Tornado Killer, who can wrestle and destroy tornadoes. It's fiction, And so anyway, but there's also the main character. He's called the Tornado Killer. But the main character is this girl who's kind of fascinated by the Tornado Killer. She starts finding clues all around town that kind of link her and the Tornado Killer. And she also discovers that he's kind of fascinated with her too. So they enter this dangerous relationship. And they start to realize the true occult connection between them and the secrets that the adults are keeping from both of them and the nature of the tornadoes and the Tornado Killer. And she soon realizes she's got to get out of town or do something to stop this before she and him are both engulfed by it. And so, if you like existential dread, small town horror, weird cults, Bride of the Tornado is for you. It's kind of like, if you like Twin Peaks, but seasons 1, 2 on ABC in the 90s, I love those, but not that. I'm talking about the third season. Like the off-putting, alienating one that was on Showtime in 2017. It's more like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. I could talk about this all day with you, Tornado Jeff. This book sounds fantastic.
Yeah, Quirk says about it, audaciously conceived and steeped in existential dread, this genre-defying novel reveals the myth-bound madness at the heart of American life. How about that?
Wow, that sounds great. I have to say, though, that I'd like to ask you a question I'm sure is on everyone's mind here. I know it's on mine, and that is, what are your thoughts on Sharknado?
What? Really?
Yeah, Sharknado?
Yeah, Sharknado? Yeah, how about a tornado, all right? You know what do you people want? I'm a godlike column of spinning air that's churning down the prairie, like materializing and then dispersing in a blink of an eye, tearing apart entire cities. You say, oh, I know, I gotta add a fish? No, Sharknado, no, I wouldn't lower myself to be in Sharknado.
So I take it you didn't get a call back for Sharknado?
No, I didn't get a call back.
Yeah, I'm sure you're upset about that, but that's okay. Because you know what? You are in this great new book, James Kennedy's Bride of the Tornado.
Yeah, is that what you wanted to hear? I'm in a book. Yeah, so I'm not in Sharknado, I'm not in Sharknado 2, I'm not in Sharknado 3, The Heart of Sharkness. But you know what? I did solid work in Bride of the Tornado, all right? I'm a professional. And it's a good book. You should all see it. You should read it. James Kennedy's a good guy.
Yeah, believe me, I know him well, I know that's true. And the book is wonderful. I have to say though, again, I hate to keep going off these tangents, but I read in Entertainment Weekly recently that they made a sequel to Twister called Twisters. So I have to say, it's coming out in 2024. It looks like they got the whole cast back together. We got Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman, and we got Helen Hunt, we got everybody. And I'm sure, I just wanted to check with you and get your perspective on what it's like to work with these folks again, because I know it's been a long time, but this is just.
I got one word for you. CGI.
Higgy.
No, computer-generated imagery. All right, yeah, they don't need my kind anymore, all right? But I gotta ask you, where's the reality? Where's the heart? I was bringing things to those scenes, and now you got some little nerd on his keyboard just going, why you guys don't put a shark in there? It's ridiculous. And don't y'all authors get too comfortable yourselves, because AI is coming for your butts too, all right? Oh, you all laugh, you librarians, it's probably coming for your butts too, it's coming for all your butts, all right? So, you'll see what I mean soon enough. And on a related note, if I never see Helen Hunt again, it'll be too soon. Long story, but...
Wow, I'd like to hear that one sometime.
Yeah, you only got 7 minutes.
Okay, at any rate, thanks again, Tornado Jeff, for coming. I guess the last question I'd have for you, and maybe, from your perspective as the star of the book, are there any reviews you've heard lately or yet that relate to the book that are your favorites?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me read one of my favorite reviews. Found this on thestorygraph.com. Any of you guys hear about that? Yeah. All right. 1 star. I hated the experience of reading this book so much that I suppose it's a recommendation. It's self-consciously weird, violent at exactly the wrong times, gross when it doesn't need to be, and the cat situation was unacceptable. It was also well-constructed, well-written, with characters who a reader can care about. You'll love it, assuming that you are a terrible person. End quote. I look around this room, I see a lot of people who could be pretty terrible. So you might be into Bride of the Tornado, and if not, you might be kind of basic. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tornado Jeff, and once again, James, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everybody.
I can't sit on my tornado.
Okay, thank you, Tornado Jeff. Okay, be serious now. So we have time for one question for the panel, and then we're going to get on to the book signing. But I always imagine that the search histories of crime writers are some of the most interesting out there. A lot of research has to go into your books to make them believable. And Mindy, you talked about this a little bit, but can you talk about your research process? What's the most interesting piece of research you stumbled upon in your work? And should we start with Tornado Jeff?
Just looking in the mirror, baby.